What's going on, IGTV, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you guys are watching this? I'm going to go over an older podcast here called Luxury Problems. And if you guys follow us on YouTube, our Mandatory Minute series, I did a full video on this. And if you want to hear this in greater detail, obviously head over to the Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you guys listen to podcasts. But when I say luxury problems, it's the things that we complain about that seem like a big deal to us, when all reality, they're not even really problems at all. Now, to us, they are. In the moment, they mean everything. But when you look at the scope of your life in the world, they're really not going to change anything, whether they're there or not. And I share that a lot of times because I live in Scottsdale here. It's a beautiful place. Very fortunate to live here and work and hang out with the people that I do. They have a lot of luxury problems here. And I like to share a lot of times with our people a Lou Holtz quote. And it said, 20% of people don't care about your problems and the other 80% are glad that you have them. And I say that half jokingly, but I believe 100% of people don't give a shit about your problems because we're so busy wrapped up in our own lives. We really don't have time to worry about everybody else's, mundane day-to-day bullshit stuff they complain about. So I want to share with you a story about my own luxury problems at one time in my life. And this is a couple years back, probably about a week or so before my birthday. We were in Portland visiting some friends and family. And we booked a red eye back on a Sunday night, even though I know I had to be at work on Monday morning at about 4:30 a.m. And but I'm like, to extend the vacation and spend time with people that are important to us, we'll do it. And so we booked a flight. The flight's on time. I get back to Scottsdale here about 11:30 at night, give or take, waiting for our luggage to come off the carousel, and our luggage doesn't show up. Long story short, they lost our luggage. So I'm in the little office filling out the form at about midnight at this point. I get back to my house just after midnight, about 12:20, 12:30 or so, and I'm going to key in my garage door. We just got this beautiful new garage door my wife had to have, and I key in the code. It goes up about 2 feet. And I look underneath the garage door, and I'm like, there's all this debris. Our bikes are knocked over. There's a bunch of shit on the ground. I'm like, hey, Heather, I think somebody broke into our house. And so I key in the front door quick. I'm looking around. I run around. I open up the garage door, and I go, oh, okay. No, Heather, nobody broke in. Our ceiling just caved in on my car, mind you. Long story short, there was a monsoon that went on here in the summertime. It does rain quite a bit and intense, and it must have got in between the shingles and our roof, and then basically weighed down on the drywall, and it just collapsed on my car. So smashed my car all to shit. All this stuff's on it. There's still stuff hanging from the ceiling, so some of the drywall pieces are still hanging on there. And so I'm thinking on my phone, I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to be at work in 3.5 hours. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get my car out of the garage? So I go and I grab like our pruning shears from our backyard, and I'm like chopping down the wire and the drywall so it can fall on my car more. And so I can move the debris and shit and back my car out, as I have about a quarter of my ceiling of my garage is now gone and fallen on my car. So got my car out, slept about 2 hours, went to work. I'm just on the hustle doing my thing. It's a shitty thing, but it happened, right? Fast forward about a week when we get the insurance claims guy to come out. On my birthday, mind you. So I'm with the insurance claims guy on my birthday as we're out there, and he's on my roof, and I'm in the garage, and we're out there looking. It's about 115 degrees here in beautiful Scottsdale on my birthday, and he's going over and is assessing everything. He's like, oh, yeah, I can see what happened here. We'll approve the claim. You'll get your stuff fixed. Great. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So it's my birthday, right? And I have a rule. I never work on my birthday. So I went and I work out. I go get a massage, which I rarely do. And I'm talking like a nice massage, not the ones where they go and like, dig an elbow into your hamstring and just make you want to cry. I'm talking like a nice relaxing massage at a resort. And so I go get my massage for my birthday after hanging out with the claims guy, all morning, sweating my ass off. And I'm driving home on my way from the massage back to my house. My wife has this awesome little staycation plan for me. As I'm driving down here in Old Town Scottsdale, this girl runs the red light and just smashes the shit out of my car. Hers jumps up on the median, hits the light pole. My bumper is dragging on the ground. I can hear it as I'm going. I end up pulling in a parking lot and sitting there for about an hour and a half as the police figure it out. It's her fault, but my bumper is still smashed and dragging on the ground. So luckily enough, I can take the bumper and like basically re-smash it into my car as it's hanging sideways just enough so I can drive it home, as I sat again in the parking lot with Progressive talking about how to fix the damage of it and what's going to happen and what are the next steps for about an hour and a half, again, when it's about 115 degrees here in Scottsdale. And I end up driving home, telling my wife the story. She can't believe it, but I'm fortunate enough, nobody got hurt, nobody died. It's just material stuff. And that night we have a staycation plan at one of my favorite resort here in the Scottsdale area. And my wife works for the hotel company, so it's like it's an easy, seamless thing. I'm like, oh, well, that was a shitty day and really a shitty week for us, but this is going to be great. We can relax. We show up to the resort to check in, and they're like, oh, we don't have your reservation. I'm like, nah, it can't be right. My wife works here. She knows everything what she's doing. And long story short, she made the reservation for the day before my birthday. And also my birthday. So we basically miscalculated the dates, and so we had paid for a room night the day before, even when we weren't there. It's a simple mistake of just a click of a button, and that's kind of my week story. Now, what happened is they lost my luggage. My garage basically collapsed, caved into my car, which was already smashed to shit. A week later, some girl smashes into my car, and then the staycation I had planned, we actually did it for the wrong day and paid for a day of us not even being there without knowing it. Now, admittedly, all those things suck shit. And they're not great things to happen. Dealing with insurance claims, having your car to have to go get repaired and replaced, get a replacement one, and then obviously paying for an expensive resort on a day that you didn't stay there. And all those things suck, and they're not fun, and nobody wants to deal with them. But in all reality, those are luxury problems, you guys. I'm fortunate enough to be able to tell that story to you, to have those problems in the first place. I'm lucky enough that I can get on an airplane flight and fly around and see friends and family. I have the money to do it. I'm lucky that I have a home that I live in and that I own, and that when something collapses and breaks, I do have insurance and I can pay the deductible and I can pay the difference. I'm lucky that I have a car that I can fucking drive around, and that when somebody does hit me, I didn't die. I am lucky enough to be able to go to a beautiful resort and stay there, even though I might have messed up the dates and the booking and the registration. So what I'm saying to you is, we get so wrapped up in our life and all our bullshit and all the things going on, and we think that we have it so bad and these things are terrible and they're awful and they're not fun, and we bitch and we whine and we complain about them, and that's fine. It's okay to have banter, but if you can tell it in a story like this, it brings you back to reality. Because literally, you guys, there's millions of people out here living in the world. They don't have electricity. They don't have an iPhone. They don't have a car. They can't do fitness as a luxury thing like we can. There's people out there walking literally 5 miles to get water out of a river to bring it back to their fucking family so they can drink it. That's the reality. Us people who are watching this video on Instagram, on an iPhone, we have Netflix, we can buy $7 coffees, we've driven multiple vehicles, we get to attend universities, we get to do all these really amazing things that huge chunks of the world do not get the chance to do. We are literally living in privilege, and we have an amazing life. I have an amazing life, just like many of you guys watching this. We're fucking lucky as shit to have the problems that we do. But we get so wrapped up in our stuff, we lose sight, we lose perspective, we lose gratitude for all the amazing things that we have. And again, I know I've went through a lot of real shit, and I'll go through even more, tough times down the road, just like some of you guys have before. And again, you guys are gonna go through a lot of tough times throughout your life. I know that. Those are the real things. But if you can step back for a second, be mindful of what you're doing and what you're saying, and think about it like, is this really a problem right now? Obviously, missing a flight sucks. Being delayed on a flight for an hour sucks. Sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours, which I've done before, is not fun. But you're lucky enough that you get to be able to fly. You get to get inside a metal tube, and you're putting your trust into other people. You can watch a movie for 2 hours, and you can travel across the world. It's a fucking gift, and it's a miracle that we have the internet, that we have all the amazing things of travel and luxury and resources that we have. But yet, if it doesn't go perfect, and if it's not seamless, we tend to complain, bitch, and whine about it. And again, 20% of people don't care. The other 80% of people are glad that they're your problems, not theirs. But in all reality, and I've said this many times before, you guys, if all of us threw our problems into a pile and we could see what the rest of the world was dealing with, all the pain, the agony, the sorrow, the real depressing, tough shit, we'd sprint back into that and grab our problems in a heartbeat, because what we're dealing with compared to, the other 8 billion people in the world really pales in comparison. And I know that. That's why I don't complain when I get stuck in traffic. That's why I don't complain when my flight's delayed. That's why I don't bitch when somebody runs into my car, which has happened multiple times, because they are luxury problems. I'm very lucky and very blessed to be this healthy and this happy and to live this life and be surrounded with the amazing people and amazing gifts that I am. And living in this time, in this era, it truly is a gift. And I want you guys to all realize that. So even if you're going through some shit right now, and even if it's some real tough stuff, just know that, it's a valley and the peak's right around the corner. And if you guys are dealing with some luxury problems, just know they're always going to happen. But if you step back from it and ask yourself, you know what? This really is a luxury problem, and I'm glad it's this and not something else. So until next time, you guys, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please keep doing shit you love that people enjoy, because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Peace.